Shemai and welcome. In today's video, I want to talk about 3 apps and websites I use and recommend for checking the mountain weather forecast here in the UK. So let's get into it. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see beginner hikers make is either not checking the weather forecast at all or not checking it properly. Popping your head out the window, glancing at a widget on your phone, or just checking the broad weather for a wide region won't cut it. When heading into the mountains, you need to be a lot more specific, either searching for the mountain range you are hiking in, or if possible, the peaks you are planning to climb. Conditions can be drastically different up in the hills compared to what they're like down in the valleys and surrounding towns, as temperature can decrease between 0.5 and 1 degree every 100 meters you ascend. What's more, due to the exposed nature of hills, conditions can change in an instant, so you've got to be prepared for everything. This is even more true as we head into winter, when conditions are a lot colder, darker, and more dangerous. Now, before I highlight the 3 apps and websites I use and recommend, there are 4 things you should always be aware of. First and foremost is feels like temperature, then it is chance of precipitation, wind speed and direction, and finally visibility. All 4 of these factors will have a huge impact on your level's enjoyment, safety, alongside what clothes and equipment you need to bring. Right, let's speak about the 3 apps and websites I use. Now, the first up is the Met Office. Now, this is the National Weather Service provider of the UK, and their app and website provide easy to read and understand weather forecasts for both mountain ranges and specific peaks, which ironically are indicated by a mountain icon. So the week-long forecasts are available both on their website and easy-to-use app, with all the key information being broken down on an hourly basis. Like I've spoken about, they've got precipitation, percentage, feels like temperature, wind speed and direction, alongside sunrise and sunset times. Now, if you go down to the bottom, you can also click on a tab and see visibility. Now, in my experience, I found it to be the most accurate weather provider out there. And like I've spoken about, you can search for specific mountains, which in my eyes is crucial. Now, the second website I use and recommend is MWIS. Now, this stands for Mountain Weather Information Service, and they provide weather forecasts for the 10 mountainous regions across the UK. There's 5 in Scotland and then 5 across Wales and England. The forecasts are both detailed and easy to understand and aimed at both novice and experienced mountain users. They're usually written in the form of warnings and showcase the effect of the weather on the hiker. They provide 3-day forecasts and they're updated multiple times a day. So alongside providing key information that I spoke about, such as how windy is it, what is the effect of the wind on you, how wet, is there going to be cloud on the hills, and what is the chance of cloud-free summits, how cold it's going to be, they also showcase this in the form of icons. So they got 4 icons which show the effect of the wind, visibility, temperature, and what it feels like. So if you're from Wales and you can't read, these icons are absolutely perfect. Now, unfortunately, they don't have an app, so it's just a website, but they do have a helpful Instagram page, which is updated daily. So the third and final website I recommend is one called Windy. Now, this showcases both wind and the weather forecast. However, I predominantly just use it for wind. It's super easy to use and really easy to understand. They have an interactive map which uses both arrows and color to indicate wind speed and direction, and it shows hourly forecasts up to 6 days in advance. What I love about it is you can zoom into the map to see specific places, and if you click on a location, it will bring up a 6-day overview. I would recommend this especially if you're planning on heading up to exposed ridges and peaks. Now, it's particularly useful if you are planning to fly a drone. For me, it's something I always like to take out into the mountains with me, so I like to know how fast and which direction the wind is going, and if I need to take out the smaller DJI Mini or I have to bring out the big DJI Mavic 3. So like I spoke about, absolutely brilliant website. They also have an app which is also free, and alongside wind, you can check out things like the weather, the rain, the temperature, clouds, and waves. So another website I also use is Mountain Forecast. Now, this gives easy to understand forecasts for specific mountain ranges up to 14 days in advance. Now, this website I use with caution. I don't recommend relying on it solely. Although it has a lot more specific peaks than some of the other websites I've already mentioned, it's the one that is the least reliable and has probably done me over quite a few times. So I only use this to kind of cross-check against other websites. And if I'm at a loss, say I can't find a specific peak on the Met Office, or I'm in a country outside the UK that the MWIS doesn't cover, I'll probably go to Mountain Forecast. But like I've already spoken about, it's the least reliable and it's the one that has done me over the most, so use it with caution. Now, it's worth noting there are a couple of things that I'll always do. Firstly, I'll always cross-check the weather across multiple sites to see if they're saying similar things, and I'll never solely rely on one website. I'll also monitor the weather forecast in the build-up for the mountain range or mountain I'm hiking, as this will dramatically affect what conditions are like underfoot. I'll also try and get the most up-to-date weather forecast before I depart for my hike, be that at home, before I get in the car, or down in the car park if I have signal. Like I've mentioned, conditions in the hills can change in an instant, and what you check the night before can be dramatically different to what it's like in the morning. So I always recommend trying to get one as close to departing as possible. Finally, I'll never take the forecast as gospel. There's been many times when I've been out in the hills and the forecasts have been completely wrong. These forecasts aren't 100% accurate, and like I've spoken about, conditions can change in an instant. So I'll always recommend carrying all the essential kit, and I'll always carry waterproofs even if the forecast isn't going to say it's going to rain, because it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you found this useful. Let me know which other websites you recommend using in the comments below, and if you like any of the websites I've spoken about. Until next time, diolch yn fawr.